It's something that I'd actually like to talk about.
Okay, cool. Let's do something.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So this came across my desk.
Do I know about this or no?
I don't think so. Probably not. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll pretend.
You don't know much.
Oh, this. Okay.
So this was just somebody wrote this. I don't know who the fuck E is, but I loved it. And then I said, who's this E fella? But it says, psychopathy is on the rise. The inability of people to connect with the pain of others. This is a dangerous trend. There's a sort of false equivalence being preached that masquerades as tolerance, but is in fact extremely aggressive.
What
Again,
so there's a sort of
not a good trend for humanity.
Hold on, let's break that down. A sort of false equivalence being preached that masquerades as tolerance, but in fact is extremely aggressive. We all know who they're talking about, I guess,
that is,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a result of both bad social policy and an increasingly digital world that has altered the societal construct. It is also the result of desensitizing populations over decades towards violence or errant predispositions through gross use of mediums of influence, media entertainment. The overall product is people with a greater sense of self than other, and a sort of selflessness is born out of it.
I saw years ago. Well, sorry, would you want to finish it real quick?
Yeah. Okay. Stoicism is badly needed and greatly lacking. Societies that encourage positive and meritorious behavior patterns rather than aggressive expansion of self-labeled individualism.
Sure.
E. So I thought. We could pick that apart, but what were you going to say, sorry?
No, I mean, it's been observed for many years. Like, once we were firmly into the age of social media and stuff like that, I've seen a number of psychologists suggest that there is, like, a narcissism is out of fucking control and rampant in society.
And compassion is, not to be found.
Right.
It is insane. It's funny, I've said this over and over, but so my brother and I see this on a daily basis. We're always traveling around, doing our fucking tricks and whatnot. And I see it in just people's driving habits. I see it in
where somebody does something and you're like, do you realize? And I know we're we're getting old talking like this, but it's like, do you fucking realize you just put everyone else at risk?
Yeah,
you asshole.
Or inconvenienced everyone simply to cut 1 second off of your. It's just like
a guy flew past me on my way here. The traffic is backing up on 290, and like somebody wants to go to this exit, and they must have had 2 inches clearance. And you just go about fucking 75 miles an hour. Like, I was bracing for impact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And watching in the mirror, and it's constant, dude. But there's
so I don't know about everywhere. I think in all of Illinois now there's this thing that they did a handful of years ago where they put these at crosswalks of like bike paths and running paths and this type of shit, right?
What do they put there?
They have these signs that say vehicles must stop for pedestrians, right? This did not used to be a thing, though,
you have to tell people that. Yeah.
But here's the thing is, in doing so, I have seen, since that time of implementation, this steady uptick of just this weird sort of pugnacious attitude of walkers and riders where they don't even look, dude. And you could see that they fucking see you, and they're going, I hope that, you know what I mean? And it's like, no, you don't hope that I hit you.
So if you're driving in the city downtown right now, that will happen every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
People, it's like, do you have zero sense of self-preservation?
That's what I'm saying.
Whether or not you think you're in the right.
But what if the guy's distracted? There's a lot of distracted drivers out there. You're just going to get hit by a car.
Right. Or what
this attitude that like somehow your indignation is going to save you from a fucking fatal car crash is absurd, man. So I don't understand where this comes from.
Bike riders have been doing that for many years. And I used to be an all-day bike rider, like part of the bike crowd. And you know what I mean? In New Orleans back in the day, I did bike delivery for like 8 hours a day sometimes. And a lot. Even when I was doing that, I really didn't agree with a lot of stuff that the bike riding community does.
Because they're indignant.
And it's also like they're fucking insanely volatile, and aggressive.
Well, it takes a certain type of person to get into that.
Extremely volatile, aggressive, and easy to kill. Those things shouldn't go together. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I just don't understand it. But the other thing is now it's not happening there. It's happening at every crosswalk. It's like they're just people are walking out, and I'm just like, I'm driving down.
Related to?
Well, I think it's just an overall attitude of like, fuck you. I'm more important. My time is more important than yours. I was driving on the street yesterday.
There's an amazing amount of people that just don't give a fuck. Yeah.
Well, they do, but so I saw. Okay, so all these cars are lined up to pick up, students at a fucking Catholic
probably a
prep
school.
Yeah, Catholic prep school over here. So
I'm no detective, but
all wealthy, well-to-do, and so all the parking spots are taken up. Well, some bitch fucking thinks she's gonna sit in a not parking spot. That's like an angle. It's like, okay, parking spot. And then this one has got the, hash mark because it's an angle. It's not a full, so she can only get in halfway.
So she's blocking the.
So half of her fucking car is just out in the lane.
And she's like,
in her mind, she's like, well, it's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, if somebody else did that and inconvenience her, she would
they're having a hard time with this, but
it's me.
They're not me. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
That's this attitude, and I don't understand it. It's like this really is. It really is concerning to me. It's because a lot of people, the drag queen shows for fucking kids, society's breaking down. No, this is where you see society.
Did we talk about how that got canceled?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's this general attitude adjusting that I've seen. I think really is more concerning than most anything else that I see. And I think
so. Do you think it's directly related to the fact that, like, at some point, and I don't know, it's hard to pinpoint the year, but it became that every single person thinks that they need a soapbox and they can be heard, and their voice matters
that
now,
they're
and
somehow important.
So whereas
everyone has become very self-important,
and it's weird. It's what we do with everything. So something that's like potentially infinitely empowering.
Yes.
We use so irresponsibly that it becomes a fucking detriment to us.
Yes, that's what we're seeing.
And it's like, it's the same thing with, like, say the music industry, right?
Sure.
At one time, there was this like quick little bubble where it was like, a bunch of people were like getting famous from their MySpace page or whatever the fuck.
I remember.
But as everything expanded, you end up with things being so ridiculously flooded with garbage and whatever else that in the end it's kind of back to how it was when labels controlled everything, because now there's like no fucking way to cut through.
Nobody's sifting through the fucking bullshit now.
There's too much.
This is just that's what is happening with podcasts.
Well,
every Tom, Dick, and Harry thinks every Tom, Dick, and Vinny thinks that they can have a fucking podcast, like they're somehow entertaining.
Vinny.
Every fucking Tom, Flamingo, and Lightning.
I don't know. I love them now. I kept listening to that.
Tom, Vinny.
I just love the way she says our names. Yeah. And Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny's got a UTI.
I call Vinny's dad, and I talk to Vinny's mom. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but
they're both gone, lady.
But no, it is like this. I don't know how long it's been for you, but for me, it's been a few years that the cacophony of opinions on social networking has just become a wash.
Yeah,
and it just nothing affects me. I don't care what anyone is saying anymore because there's just too much. It's
I remember a study years ago that studied the effect of advertisements in Times Square. This was when, like, during the real proliferation of ads, every fucking square inch was bought up with some sort of flashing light.
They have kind of backed off on that a little, huh?
But that's the thing is because they started realizing, well, there's two things.
It just wasn't as effective anymore.
Nobody noticed anymore.
Okay.
Like, there was like, it just, they all canceled each other out, and it was just eventually just white noise.
I always wonder that when you're on the highway and there's like a billboard every fucking 20 feet, and every single one of these has got to represent some amount of money being paid every month.
Yeah.
I'm sure maybe a couple thousand or something.
Thousands.
I don't know. And so, my prevailing thought,
depending on where you are, we should get some fucking cheap ass ones out in the redneck sticks.
Yeah, just more ineffective marketing by Vinny and Tom.
Just like some fucking gibberish.
No, but I've been wondering my whole life, who the fuck is buying stuff because they saw it on a billboard?
Is there a return?
Like, that's what I mean. And how do you know?
Provable?
Obviously,
my sales went up and then down and then up and then down. It's like, like it always fucking does. I don't know. I don't know.
What? And I don't know. I just don't understand how anything works, because if everybody was like me, none of this would be effective. You know what I mean? Because I don't fucking buy anything. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. Maybe it's just not aimed at me, I guess. But
the general attitude of the population. And here's the thing. So,
but like we're saying, it's pretty much just related to everybody having a voice, right? Which sounds like a shitty thing to say, but
the thing that I've noticed is, like, the people that I see doing this shit are also people that I know are yelling about compassion and being, good and do better and all this shit.
You're going back to the bullying aspect of it that's masquerading as tolerance.
Yeah, it's just like you yell at and it's this aggressive, like trying to force people into this fucking, be fucking nice, da da da. It's like you're fucking the worst example of this. And all of you as a fucking collective are this just poisonous pool of bullshit.
Yeah.
Trying to act like you're trying to, progress the world into some sort of like peaceful, compassionate utopia. You're in reality,
it couldn't be further from the
actual. It is like the exact fucking opposite of what reality is.
And what is the actual objective? If the actual objective was to like promote positivity and peace and compassion, it would look a lot different. It would be, you know what I mean? And so what's the actual objective is to like win social currency points and shit, right? Like,
now look at that last comment there.
Let's end the podcast and get on Fortnite, Luke says. I'm kind of feeling like that.
Yeah, we could play Fortnite and do this.
And David Bach said, you think bicyclists are bad? Wait till you encounter someone riding a horse. You know what? That is insane. When I used to live, there were people riding horses around when I lived in Willow Springs, It's like old fashioned there kind of.
Oh,
and people would ride horses around. And if you do pass somebody on a horse, it does feel insane. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing out here with this thing? Yeah, like this could.
I mean, if I had an elephant, I'd ride it everywhere.
Could kick me to death.
Yeah.
If it
I
just
could
decided
kick you to death.
Yeah, you might be able to. Maybe. I don't know.
If I hit you good in the ribs.
Yeah, I'm afraid to kick. Tom was trying to get me to kick the heavy bag one time, and I'm just like afraid that my leg will break.
Mike Ewald says, poisonous pile of bullshit. Great name for this show.
Yeah, dude.
Now, hey, fuck you. But no, okay, so to just cap that off a little, I've kind of been thinking that at one point, like people like you and I, when we were young, we had that pugnacious attitude.
Smart people.
Yeah, real
charmers.
Even-keeled.
Yeah, right. Real even-keeled fucking charmers.
No, but like we had, like it was something out of the ordinary to have that like fuck you kind of an attitude. Now everyone does, and so I almost feel it incumbent upon us to go the opposite way, literally to save society.
Okay.
I think we have to start leading by example and being kind, letting people in line, letting people merge, all of this shit. Because the more people that do this, the more those fucking assholes are. I mean, I always did that anyways, but I'm saying
there's still nice people out there, but it's just
where
I don't know. I feel like I feel like I've seen them. But yeah, no. It's just I think it's more of just an overarching like tendency. You know?
I don't. Because it's the whole sort of like the presupposition that this is like masquerading under is like everyone should, be able to, like you said, have.
Are we bagging on liberals or no? What are we doing?
Yeah, kind of. But it's just like this idea that everyone should have like an equal voice and everyone should be able to express themselves in any way they want. Nobody should be. But at the end of the day, we see where this is getting us, and society is just becoming more and more and more toxic. And so I want people to be able to have anal sex in the street as much as the next guy. You know what I mean? I want people to be free.
I mean, if it's like a cul-de-sac and you're not in the way, whatever.
Yeah, but just don't impede my driving with it.
Yeah, do it in the crosswalk.
Yeah,
keep it in the crosswalk, idiots.
That's a good bumper sticker. Keep your anal in the crosswalk.
Something else that's tied to this that you're talking about. Where did we, when we were younger, where did like the total lack of respect for human life and all of that stuff? What corner of society did that usually come from? Was like
the right?
No. Not politically. I'm talking about like
the total what?
Just a total lack of respect for human life, or like totally different. So we would see that from like gangsters and shit like that, right? And what is the most popular fucking style and culture that proliferates further? Well, right? Isn't it kind of like you see like white girls from Kansas being like no cap and like
everyone.
So now that's slang, but it extends from a circle of society that got extremely popular and whatever. And in those circles, it's not cool to be considerate, compassionate. It's only cool to fucking look out for yourself. Blah blah blah.
Fuck you. Don't fuck with my paper.
Now, do you think that's not intentional? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's all connected. And actually, that's I was going to bring this guy up a few episodes ago.
Just in case I didn't complete that thought, so everyone can understand what I'm trying to get at, is like everyone seems to have been influenced at this point, and especially a lot of younger people, by a culture that is in reality extremely tiny. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And like actual gangbangers and actual people that lived in projects and fucking wherever, these neighborhoods and shit. I mean, this is a tiny corner of society that has become like the prevailing like producer of slang culture, everything else.
They're the biggest exporter of American culture inside of America and outside. I think that's like what most people, foreigners, see as a. You know what? I think that was kind of